Gone are the day-night cycle and the Garden Terror vehicle. Spread across the new gardens are 6 seed spawning locations. Occasionally, a seed will emerge at one of these locations, guarded by a set of Shambler defenders. Once the Shamblers are dispatched, the seed can be channeled and gathered by either team. Seeds will continue to spawn in this manner until either team gathers 3 in total, closing out the objective and initiating its reward. When the 3rd seed is gathered, 3 Garden Terrors will immediately spawn and burrow to the front line of the winning team's lanes, bolstering their pushing efforts. To further their forward momentum, these new Terrors utilize the familiar Overgrowth ability, which disables enemy towns, as well as a large AoE stomp attack. Once summoned, the Terrors continue to push down their lanes until they are destroyed or claim victory at the enemy's core. If all Terrors are defeated, the battleground will experience a brief reprieve before the seed phase returns and the race to acquire 3 starts all over again. The seed event should be very familiar to players who enjoy Cursed Hollow, and we can expect a lot of the same strategies to come into play. Likewise, the Garden Terrors themselves are reminiscent of web weavers from Tomb of the Spider Queen and should be dealt with accordingly. Keep in mind, the mercenaries on this battleground are largely unchanged and remain an important step toward victory. Timing a combined attack on a seed location will almost always involve taking 1 or more merc camps, and mercs make excellent companions for Garden Terrors, which disable enemy fortifications. Welcome to the new Garden of Terror. We hope you enjoy what we've done to the landscaping. Let us know what you think about the changes, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
So I haven't played around with it yet, so it's difficult to know exactly how I and you guys are going to be liking it. We can definitely see that they took a number of elements that we were already familiar with from other maps, and then, you know, added them together to create mechanics that perhaps were not confusing to players or some such. The question is, did we do it right? Like, are these the most desirable gameplay aspects that we wanted to see? I'm a little worried for plant pods that shut down buildings, Savannah style, and if uncontested, with Mercamp or Minion Wave, could just do so much damage. I don't know the numbers yet, but simply having 3 separate plants that shut down buildings means there needs to be a minimum of 3 defenders, 1 per lane. And then if that defender gets taken out, you've got 4 players left to try and defend 3 different lanes against building shutdown mechanics. In theory, if a web weaver is 3 times as powerful as a Garden Terror, which does shut down your fort, then on Spider Queen, your forts are shooting at web weavers and are also said to be shut down because they're working on a stronger objective. And if the plant terrors are very weak and they shut down your buildings for a period of time, they may not do as much damage as a Spider Queen pusher. You understand? Let's say that the power of a web weaver push is 100 power strength. And let's say that a plant terror push is a 40 power strength because it's just much weaker and it shuts down your buildings. Let's say your buildings have a strength of 40 and you remove that. Now it's 80. It's 40 power versus 0 in terms of buildings. But on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you've got a power of 100 against 40. So you've got 60 power overweight. And here you have only 40 power overweight. So it's not necessarily that because it shuts down buildings, therefore it's problematic. But I suspect it will be, because I don't think it's going to be 2.5 times as weak or whatever. So I don't know if it'll be good. I would like to try it. I don't want to be too knee-jerky, but I suspect it could be a problem. And also Tomb is easier to rotate because it's a smaller map, and there's fewer relevant creep camps than on Garden of Terror. It is less diversity to combine regular mechanics, but that's still better than mechanics that we don't like old Hanamura. Two new reworks. Let's take a look at them. Kerrigan. Ravage. Charges increase from 1 to 2. Shorter range, cheaper mana, less damage. You get a clean kill baseline, kind of. No, Ravage. The level 1 Ravage baseline. Less damage on the blades. Far less on the Primal Grasp. But you get the Burning Rage, the Primal Grasp, Burning Rage, whatever it was called, after you grasp. That's quite a lot of damage. Ultralisk has a bigger splash auto. It's also a skill shot that charges and stuns for half a second and deals burst damage. After that, it's standard controllable as the old Ultra. Assimilation will give more shields, which is definitely a much required change and buff, because she's just too squishy right now. Siphoning Impact also gives more shield. Assimilation Mastery, which is the mana and health sustain, is now another level 1 talent that doesn't increase the duration, but it does do a lot more shields per globes apparently. Fury of the Swarm is her auto attack splash. From level 4 now goes to 1. She also gains more shields from basic attacks. Casting Ravage also makes a double strike effect, which is the old level 13 talent. Ah, no, not double strike. A bigger Fury of the Swarm proc. Full damage instead of reduced damage. Interesting. Full cleave. No more bonus damage on the blades, on the W, and no more block. Was an old talent anyway. Yeah, all of these changes are quite good for solo laning. But shields... yeah, quite good solo lane talents, I guess. But she still doesn't have an escape, but she does have a stun that she can cast on her feet and then walk away to try and be safe. Level 4 she gets a Ravage quest that every time she kills a minion or hero within a 1.5 second grace period of being damaged by Ravage, increases Ravage's damage permanently by half, 5 for heroes, up to a max of 50, and when she reaches it, it's another 100 damage. I mean, a total of 100 damage. Fury of the Swarm no longer has base splash. Good point, Maska. No longer has base splash 50%. It's only after Ravage that she gets 2 basics for a period of 3 seconds to do full splash. Thank you for the correction. Good point. Psionic Pulse was her old Burning Rage Grasp. Now it will deal damage the second time, later on, if they're still within her reach. And no more Envenom and Clean Kill. Queen of Blades is a new Ravage talent that every time you pull or explosion hits an enemy, you reduce the cooldown of Ravage, gets more mobility. Boundless Fury, casting Ravage on an enemy hero, grants a charge of Ravage. And you can skip all across every enemy hero within the 10-second period. By that time, you've got maybe 6 seconds left till the first one again. So, with half uptime, you can keep skipping on every enemy hero. Keep in mind, though, that it gets pretty predictable who you'll jump to next. You only have range 6, which is like everyone's standard auto attack range, roughly. So, when you Ravage on them, they can hit you all along. They can use Penetrating Round, Stormbolt. It's not going to be like you saw in the Spotlight video, which, by the way, I'll show you right now.
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin from the Heroes Dev team, here to present design changes coming for the Queen of Blades. When it comes to changes for Kerrigan, the team looked to add more tactical depth to her abilities alongside her notorious QWE combo. And we hope these changes raise the impact of her talent selection on her playstyle, as well as increase the number of compositions and battlegrounds upon which Kerrigan is powerful. Let's take a look. Kerrigan's Q ability, Ravage, now has 2 charges at the cost of reduced range. This will allow more aggressive players to leapfrog their way to disrupting the
Wait,
ability.
Kerrigan?
Ravage now has 2 charges
Pun
at the
intended.
cost of reduced range. This will allow more aggressive players to leapfrog their way to disrupting the enemy backline. In addition, any kills on heroes or minions will refund the charge as well as the mana cost of the ability. At level 4, Sharpened Blades is a quest talent that increases the damage done by Ravage for every enemy killed by it. In addition, Kerrigan has 2 talents at level 7 that provide beneficial options for the use of Ravage. Queen of Blades reduces the cooldown on her Q for every hero she pulls with Primal Grasp. And Boundless Fury refunds charges of Ravage when Kerrigan jumps to different enemy heroes. Her E ability, Primal Grasp, further increases Kerrigan's lethality with AoE damage. Shortly after use, a burst of energy will explode out from Kerrigan, damaging all nearby enemies. This ability allows Kerrigan's combo to output even more damage, provided she sticks to her enemies. Kerrigan's ultimate, Summon Ultralisk, now has an additional skill shot. When cast, an Ultralisk will burrow out from Kerrigan's location and stun the first enemy hero it smashes into. Regardless of whether the ability makes contact, the Ultralisk will begin to attack the nearest enemy. This skill shot is in addition to the ability's previous functionality, allowing Kerrigan to micromanage the Ultralisk's target. At level 13, the Chrysalis talent provides Kerrigan a quick save. When activated, Kerrigan will encase herself in a hardened shell that protects against a set amount of damage, and heals her for however long she remains protected by it.
That's cool.
With new functionality, in addition to a more versatile kit, Kerrigan's enemies will bow to the Queen of Blades or suffer her wrath. Be sure to leave us a comment or subscribe to Heroes of the Storm around the web, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
See you there,
Never
Kevin.
cross the Queen.
All right, hello everyone. We are on the PTR. We were having some fun pricing.
Why are you laughing? Okay. So, yeah, level 13, Psionic Barrier. Kerrigan gains 15 spell armor for 4 seconds. For every enemy hero she hits with Primal Grasp's pull or explosion. 15 spell armor is not too good. Oh yeah, there's one more level 4. Kinetic Fulmination. Damaging an enemy increases the damage of Kerrigan's next impaling blades by 15%. Stacks up to 150%. Oh, so you could do like what? 1000 damage impaling blades. And if you keep damaging people for a period of 10 seconds grace period, you get a really big W. That's pretty interesting. That's strong. Yeah, so I think 15 spell armor is not that good. But, you know, maybe you use it. But I don't think you will use it. It's weak, especially compared to Chrysalis. Activate to place Kerrigan in a Chrysalis. StarCraft 1. With 550 health for 5 seconds. Kerrigan regenerates 5% health per second for a total of 25%. That's quick maths. While inside the Chrysalis. 1.5 minutes cooldown. Oh, for every enemy hero hit. Ah. So she can have 30, 45, 60. If there are Vikings, you have 105. If you hit everyone and they're all clustering around you. But 105 is impossible. So what I call that is 75 spell armor with a buffer of 30 for vulnerability. I know cap is 75, but you've got a 30 spell armor buffer for vulnerability. And then increase the base shield amount gained from assimilation by 15%, but reduce the duration of the shields from 6 to 3. Yikes. I think I would always go Chrysalis. Or I guess now that I understand this one better, Psionic Barrier. I would not like to reduce, but I guess it does make you more burst resilient. But it seems really bad. Big downside for a small upside. That's a big zoinks from me. New talent, Mounting Potency. A lot of people are going to be happy that they can use Mounting Potency with Kerrigan. Casting Ravage on an enemy increases Kerrigan's spell power by 5% for 4 seconds, stacking up to 40%. For how long? 4 seconds? How could you use that many Ravages? Kills? Bunny hops with the other talent that allows you to rotate, and she has 2 charges. Oh, on an enemy. An enemy, not enemy hero. Okay, so the whole Q gives her more spell power and actually sets her up really nicely for the follow-up fight. Painful Spikes. After stunning an enemy hero with... Oh no. See? I'm just saying it by force of habit. After stunning an enemy with Impale, Kerrigan deals an additional 75 damage the next 6 times she damages them with anything within the next 5 seconds. It's like Gel'Thuzad's more damage after roots. Unbridled Energy. When Kerrigan damages a hero with a heroic ability, she gains 30% spell power for 4 seconds. So Maelstrom quickly buffs up her spell power. Oh, any heroic damage instantly gives her 30% spell power. And this 40 is for a total of 70, potentially. So you could just have like Tarask bully offlane Leoric, hit him once and then leave. It's interesting. Oh yeah, you can't have them on the same tier. Hey, but imagine you take this talent 3 times. You have 90% spell power, guys. Yeah. Okay, so you can choose what kind of bonus damage you want. Understood. Understood. That's interesting. Of course, this doesn't affect your heroic. They found a way not to make her heroic too strong with ability power in this case. But here... You know, by the way, I've tested her overdrive before. If you overdrive or spell power cast Ultralisk, which is a Tarask, it does not remain extra strong. Only its first cast. When it resets the egg and comes back on an Ultra, it no longer has the 40%. Well, this one doesn't affect the heroic Ultra snapshot. Or maybe they changed the way that spell power works in terms of snapshotting. Yeah, I guess the first time your Maelstrom hits, the first tick of damage, it's not there. But the second, third, fourth procs, it is there. Yeah. She just straight up, as soon as she starts casting ult, she gets better at everything. Except auto attacks. Understood. Omega Storm. Maelstrom's duration is increased by 1/8 of a second every time it damages an enemy hero. How many procs per second does it have? People say 2. So if you hit 4 people all the time, it never ends. If every second there are 4 heroes near you, it's infinite. And Omega Storm does make the circle bigger. Assimilation Blades. Damaging an enemy increases Kerrigan's basic attack damage by 4% up to 40%. Oh, she's got so many ramping damage like... Oh, new functionality. Aww. They removed the bigger Maelstrom. That's sad. Okay. They've got so many like stacking damages. Psionic Shift. That used to be the blink plus burning around her and more shield generation. Active. Shield amount is now doubled when damaging enemy heroes. Okay, so you can blink in and get loads of shields. No more Nexus Blades. Ah, I thought I was gonna play her, but now I'm not sure. I was just spamming Fury of the Swarm wave clear. Too bad. Not a hero for me then. Brightwing changes. Now let's take a look at her rework.
Hey guys.
What's up, everybody? It's Kevin from the Heroes Dev Pit, back again with a hero update video for Brightwing. The design team has made adjustments to her base kit alongside her talent tree to add more playmaking potential when it comes to supporting her team, alongside her persistent efforts to excel at murder. We're hoping these changes give her a more nuanced and active role on the battlefield, so let's take a look. Brightwing's trait, Soothing Mist, still passively heals nearby heroes, but now has an activatable cleanse on the D key. When cast, the ability will remove most negative status effects, including slow,
really good.
stun, and root. Keep in mind that unlike other cleanses, Soothing Mist does not grant the unstoppable status. In addition, the ability has a long cooldown, so make sure to hold on to it for just the right occasion. Her Q ability, Arcane Flare, has been retooled to reward skillful play. Enemies caught in the center of Arcane Flare will allow Brightwing to immediately pulse Soothing Mist without triggering a cooldown. In addition, the projectile on Arcane Flare has been sped up to reach its target faster. Brightwing's Phase Shift now heals baseline. When teleporting to a friend, she will now heal the target for a large percentage of their maximum health upon arrival. Hyper Shift, Brightwing's level 1 talent, increases the heal on Phase Shift and reduces its cooldown for enemy minions killed nearby. Phase Out, Brightwing's level 16 talent, is her own version of Ice Block. When cast, Phase Out provides the Fairy Dragon a brief moment of invulnerability. Though the ability window is brief, the cooldown is quick, allowing
I really like what they did with that one. Also note that the cleanse has a travel time, so it's not instant, it's like a pulse outwards. So although it's a very strong baseline cleanse thing to have, there is a travel time. This one I think is super cool. What is this, like half a second?
Brief, the cooldown is quick, allowing invulnerability. Though the ability window is brief...
Literally stolen from Puck. So I don't know who Puck is, but Brightwings had Phase Shift in Warcraft 3 when you were still in your diapers, mate. Like, they have Phase Shift there as well.
Cooldown is quick, allowing
2002.
To get herself out of trouble more often. Brightwing's level 20 talent, Invisible
Fight me.
Friends, upgrades her Blink Heal Heroic. When used, Brightwing teleports to a friend, heals them, and grants stealth to her and her ally. While the ally remains in stealth, they will continue to receive a small heal over time. This effect remains until stealth is broken.
That seems so strong. I mean, stealth sucks in this game by now, which is good because pups were afraid of stealth, and personally, I've got no eyesight problems, but I still couldn't see Cloak always. I like the new stealth better, also for what it does to our lower level player base. But giving stealth has not usually been that strong. What Tyrande does is quite good, but Medivh's level 20 invisibility is nothing. But here they baked it into a heal. It's very spammable. You don't need to make use of it that much per se to get value out of it. It seems pretty strong.
This effect remains until stealth is broken. Brightwing, everyone's favorite little fairy dragon, has some new magic on hand to keep her best friends safe and turn her enemies to lunch.
Yeah,
Make sure
it protects against auto attacks, if anything, and point and click abilities.
Leave us a comment or subscribe to Heroes of the Storm around the web, and we'll see you in the Nexus.
Did you suffer greatly? I hope so.
Yee! So that's our kit changes. We'll we'll look a little bit more at the exact talents. So the invisible friends grants you and the target stealth. They're unrevealable for half a second. They regenerate health while under this effect. And it doesn't say that there's an ending time on it either. So they will just keep regenerating forever. This is an interesting one, and a bit weird. Emerald Wind is now 3 seconds, but it costs 200 mana. And I heard one report that this level 20 talent is actually 5 seconds on the PTR. And I've also heard that the unrevealable is also not there on the PTR. So maybe the patch notes are still a little bit different from the current PTR iteration of the game. They haven't updated it yet. Fairy Protector, activate to instantly cast Pixie Dust on all nearby allied heroes. Quite strong. A little bit like Deckard Cain's Ancient Blessings level 13. Except instead of splash damage and heal and more single target damage, it's some spell armor and movement speed. Pretty interesting. But without talenting into your Pixie Dust, it's like a weak Storm Shield, basically, for the most part. But, oh, and you can also take Speedy Dragon. Straight up 20% movement speed. Super interesting. Really, really cool. I started at the back here. I don't mind. Let's do it backwards one time. Normally, I always start at level 1. Now let's start at level 20. Thank you for the sub. Hero Killer. Much appreciated. Hush. Enemy heroes hit with the center of Arcane Flare are silenced for 1 second and deal less damage. So it's a Shrink Flare. A silencing Shrink Flare. Started at the bottom, now we go to the top. Yeah. Phase out. Activate to phase out and become invulnerable for half a second. Cooldown 20 seconds. 13. No more Ice Block, Shield Duster, Pixie. Yeah, no more of these two. Pixie Boost now has a 3-second decay and duration. But the bonus has been reduced to 40. I don't know what it was. Maybe 50? Safety Dust. Increased duration of Pixie Dust by 1. Healing dealt by Brightwing is increased by a quarter. So maybe she can get 2 procs baseline and maybe also resets of procs. As we saw, there were some like Arcane Flare cooldown resets. Pixie Power, thank you for the sub. Vipern. Lower the cooldown of Pixie Dust by 3 seconds and increase the spell armor it grants to 50%. Just gonna quickly sneak peek how much it is right now. $25. Okay. And lower the cooldown by 3 seconds. Right now it's 10. But of course I don't know yet how her base kit is changed. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Okay. Level 10 did it get changed. New talent, Critical Mist. Critical Miss. Critical Mist. If Calming Mist removes a status effect from an ally, instantly heal them for 200. Peekaboo. Moved from level 4 to 7. Also grants you and your target. Can you guys refer to me like this from now on? You. And your target a temporary health shield. And she also has Sticky Flare from 13 to 7. And Arcane Flare slows heroes by 20% for 3 or 40% if center hit. New talent, Magic Spit. Increase your basic attack range by 20%. Wow. But, yeah. Attacks against heroes reduce the CDR, reduce the cooldown of Soothing Mist active by 5. So we still have to read about this. Maybe it's better to read from top to bottom. Dream Shot. From 1 to 4. Increase the range, and if it hits, CDR. Unstable Anomaly. Increase the slow amount of polymorph to 40. When it expires, it explodes, dealing 2% max health to all nearby enemy. Interesting. Pixie Charm. 1. Every minion killed near you grants you a bribe stack. Hitting an enemy with the center portion of Arcane Flare grants you 5 bribe stacks. An enemy. That's so easy, isn't it? You can get like 3 to 4 on a minion wave. And if they get like condemned by Johanna, you can get like 6. It's really good. Seems really high. A lot of bribing. Hyper Shift. Increase the heal amount of phase shift to 30% of target's max health. Wow. Wowie wowie. Every minion killed near you lowers the cooldown of phase shift. You no longer need to heal allies and ask them to take damage to reset your flight. Someone said that hitting an enemy hero with the center portion of Arcane Flare grants you 5 bribe stacks. That it is miswritten here. That on the PTR it says enemy hero. Okay. It's good to consider. That would make it a lot less broken. Increase the cast range of polymorph by 1/3, almost. Anytime a nearby enemy hero is killed, reset the cooldown of polymorph. Wow. Genji Wing. Bright Medivh. Emerald Wind no longer grants passive healing to Soothing Mist, deals less damage, shorter cooldown. Soothing Mist, fewer heals, but if you pulse on a 2-minute cooldown, you clear all the stun, root, slow, silence. So she actually gets less heal from her trait and less heal from Emerald Wind, but she gets more heal from the Z. And of course all the other functionality we read about. More pixie dust. Fewer polymorphs. For a longer duration. This is going to make her really nice against Brightwing. Against Genji and Tracer. Arcane Flare. A little bit less damage. Quite a bit less damage. Quicker. And more soothing. Oh, okay. There we go. That's how we justify. So this just makes her more skillful. Able to do really well with her and get the heals that your team deserves, but AFK passive healing fountain pulse bot is weaker. So, more skillful hero that seems more fun and has a more updated kit. A big check mark of approval from me at least. I will wait till they hit the live servers to play her and Kerrigan. But that's super interesting. Thanks for watching my preview, and let's play some more Hero League.